Today I'm going to show you a Volca Keys sound design trick.
Freebie.
So this trick is more for when you want to sample the Volca Keys into another piece of gear to use, for instance, like the MPC's auto sampler. This is a trick to just squeeze a little bit more variation out of the Volca Keys and what you can do sound design with it. So, of course, here we have the Volca Keys. I've got all of the knobs turned to the far left except for sustain and decay/release, and that's just so we can hear the sound. And I also have the filter cutoff set to about 3 o'clock or so. It's just so we can actually get some sound out of this thing. Okay, super basic. Now, of course, we all know that the Volca Keys has these knob per function controls up here. So we've got like detune. You know, we can fatten it up like that. We've got our oscillator mode here, so I'm on unison right now. We can go to octave. We can choose our octave. There you go. I mean, that's a classic analog bass synth sound right there, you know? It sounds great. And we can use a very basic envelope modulation routing here to control the filter and the pitch with the envelope. So if I turn up the attack here, turn up the resonance, you can hear that with the curve of the envelope there, the attack, the filter also opens up and then also follows the release. Those are all pretty basic sound design options on the Volca Keys, and I've covered those before. So the way that we can take this a step further, I'm going to reset the envelope there and the intensity. There we go. The way we can take this a step further is by actually using the Volca Keys sequencer and Korg's motion sequencing, which is basically parameter locking, as a way of enhancing the sound design. And one of the main reasons we're able to do this is because the Volca Keys allows you to change the note value per step. They call it tempo down here. But basically, let's go ahead and turn on our metronome. Yep, it's already on. Have a listen. We can see that's one measure, right? If I hold function and press 1/2 here, we can now tell that we've got 2 measures going on, right? And if I hold it down and go to 1/4, now we get 4 measures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Now bear with me here because we're not actually going to be sequencing a rhythm or a melody or anything like that. We're just going to be sequencing one note and allowing the motion sequencing process to change the parameters of that note over our sequence. So for this, I like to set the tempo down as low as it'll go, which gives us quite a bit of time to work with. We get 16 of these clicks here. So I'm going to arm it for recording, and I'm just going to hold down, we'll pick an E here, and I'm going to hold it down for about 12 or 13 of those clicks. Here we go. I only held it down for half of them, for 8. But you get what I'm doing here, right? I'm just recording one note that we can then play back when we sample it. So I'm going to turn off the metronome now. We can see our sequencer here is still running, but it just sounds like we're holding down one key, which will be perfect for sampling. And that is going to allow us to use motion sequencing to get pretty in-depth with our parameter locks if we want them to. So while I could use the LFO to affect the filter cutoff, and it would sound something like this here, change our waveform to a triangle here. That sounds cool, but if I want to sample it, I'm pretty much just stuck right here and holding this note down. So I'm going to undo that real quick. And I'm actually going to record these changes into the sequence itself. So I want to make sure that I have motion sequencing on, and I like to have the smooth option turned on as well. It just makes the transition of the parameter locks between the steps a little smoother. Imagine that. And check this out. We hit record, we arm it, now we hit play, and I'm going to sequence in, essentially, my filter movement. Here we go. Okay, let's have a listen. I'm going to turn off the metronome. Okay, so it's not perfect. It didn't do exactly as I told it. But again, like I said, this is just to squeeze a little bit more out of the Volca Keys. I'm going to turn down the peak there a bit, which I don't believe the peak is actually parameter lockable, by the way. Just a heads up. Okay, so maybe that's not the best example. Maybe it's not the most usable sound. If we want to clear the motion sequencing, we can just hold function and press clear right there, M3. There we go. Now we're back to a clean slate, and we can continue to play around with it. This time I'm going to give us maybe a filter sweep, slowly open the filter and then close it, and then maybe mess with the detune at the end. That could be fun too. Here we go. Okay, that could be a sampleable sound. Let's have a listen to it. Unfortunately, you can hear some, semblance of the actual sequence going on there. We can shorten the sequence by going to 1/2 here. But it is still going to step a bit. Again, this is just about squeezing just that teeniest little bit out of the Volca Keys, that little bit extra. Because I've covered a lot of the Volca Keys before, done patches, talked about sampling it, and this is just one extra little thing you can do to push it just that much further. And of course, don't forget you can always change your oscillator mode here for some new sounds, and who knows, the patch that you have set up might actually work better with a different oscillator type. So we'll go unison ring here. That's kind of cool. We can modulate our delay. We can parameter lock our delay as well, both the time and the feedback controls. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, super cool. Imagine having a full patch of that, like on the MPC-1 that you could play with either the pads or with a keyboard controller, using the auto sampler. Definitely some ways to be creative there. So I know this probably wasn't the most exciting video or the most entertaining video, but a lot of you have asked me for more Volca Keys tips, and I've covered so much of the Volca Keys that this is one of the last things I haven't quite talked about yet. It's just one more thing you can do to push the sound design on the Volca Keys that much further when you're sampling it specifically. There's quite a bit of onboard control here on the Volca Keys, but it is supposed to be also just a basic analog synthesizer, and it excels at that. So you do have to get kind of weird and wacky with it if you want to get a little past that and unlock a little more of its potential. Let's turn up the tempo and just see what this sounds like. Yeah, there you go. That could be a fun little transition effect or something. We almost lose any semblance of our note there, our bass note. Awesome. So there you go, yet another Volca Keys sound design trick. I do hope you found this video at least enjoyable. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.